Hey everyone! Welcome back to your channel name. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to safely bleed a radiator to improve your heating efficiency and reduce your energy bills. If you've noticed cold spots on your radiator or strange gurgling sounds, then it's probably time to bleed it. Don't worry, it's a simple 5-minute job and I'll walk you through it step by step. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, we need to get those radiators nice and hot so we can really see what's going on. Crank up your thermostat, yeah, don't be shy, turn it all the way up, and let's give it a good 10 to 15 minutes. This is going to help push all that trapped air right to the top of the radiators, making our job a whole lot easier. Now you might be thinking, why are we wasting all this heat? Trust me, it's a small price to pay for a more efficient system in the long run. Plus, it's better to find out now if there are any major issues with your heating before the dead of winter hits. While that's warming up, let me tell you, there's nothing worse than a freezing cold house in the middle of winter. It's just plain uncomfortable. That's why taking care of your heating system is so important. It's all about preventative maintenance, folks. Okay, time to play detective. Carefully feel around your radiators, top to bottom, side to side. We're looking for those telltale cold spots, especially at the top. If the top of the radiator is ice cold but the bottom is nice and toasty, that's a surefire sign you've got air trapped inside. Now grab a pen and paper, or even just your phone, and make a note of which radiators need some attention. This is important, especially if you have a bunch of radiators in your house. We want to make sure we don't miss any. Remember, trapped air is the enemy of efficient heating. It prevents the hot water from circulating properly, leaving you with a chilly room and a higher heating bill than you need. Hold your horses. Before we go any further, we need to make sure everything is safe. We're dealing with hot water here, and the last thing we want is a scalding surprise. So, turn off your heating system completely and let those radiators cool down. This might take a little while, so now's a good time to grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea. I know it's tempting to just jump right in and start bleeding those radiators, but trust me on this one. Safety always comes first. Besides, a little break never hurt anyone. Alright, while those radiators are cooling down, let's gather our tools. Don't worry, this isn't a complicated job. You'll need a radiator bleed key. These are cheap and easy to find at any hardware store. It's a small, inexpensive tool that makes a world of difference. Some newer radiators might just need a flathead screwdriver, so check yours before you head to the store. Next, grab an old towel to protect your floors from any drips. Because let's face it, there are always drips. And finally, a rag or cloth to wipe up any spills. See, I told you it wasn't much. Now where did I put my radiator key? I swear I just had it. Now comes the fun part. With the heating off and the radiators cool, locate the bleed valve. It's usually at the top of the radiator, on the opposite side from the control valve. It'll look like a small square hole or a round slot. Now, take your trusty bleed key and gently insert it into the valve. Turn it slowly counterclockwise. Remember, lefty-loosey? You should hear a hissing sound as the trapped air escapes. This is a good sign. It means it's working. Be careful though, that air can be hot. Hold your rag over the valve to catch any drips. If your radiator doesn't have a keyhole, a flathead screwdriver will do the trick. Just turn it slowly and listen for that hissing sound. Keep an eye on the valve as you're bleeding the radiator. Once that hissing sound stops and you see a steady stream of water trickling out, you're golden. That means all the trapped air has been released and this radiator is good to go. Now don't get impatient and tighten the valve as soon as you see water. Let it run for a few seconds to make sure all the air pockets are gone. It's like burping a baby. Sometimes you need to give it a little time. This is also a good opportunity to check the color of the water. If it's clear or just slightly discolored, you're in good shape. But if it's thick, black, or sludgy, you might have a bigger problem on your hands. That could mean corrosion in your system, and you'll want to call a plumber to get that checked out. Okay, time to close up shop. Tighten the bleed valve by turning it clockwise. Righty-tighty, don't over-tighten it, just snug it up. Remember, you're not trying to win a wrestling match here. Now use your rag to wipe away any spilled water. This will help prevent rust and keep your radiators looking their best. Nobody wants a rusty old radiator, right? Take a step back and admire your handiwork. You've successfully bled a radiator. Give yourself a pat on the back, you deserve it. Now, if you have more than one radiator giving you the cold shoulder, it's time to repeat the process. A good rule of thumb is to start with the radiator furthest away from your boiler and work your way back. Why? Because air naturally travels towards the highest point in the system, so starting furthest away helps ensure we're pushing all that trapped air out. It's like herding cats. You gotta know how to move them in the right direction. So, grab your tools, and let's get those other radiators working like new. Remember, a warm and cozy home is just a few bleeds away. Alright, we're in the home stretch. With all your radiators bled, it's time to fire up the heating system and make sure everything is working as it should. Turn your thermostat back to your desired temperature, and give it a few minutes to warm up. Now, go back and feel those radiators one last time. They should all be nice and toasty, from top to bottom. No more cold spots, no more gurgling sounds, just pure, efficient heat. Bleeding your radiators can sometimes lower your boiler pressure, so it's a good idea to check that as well. The ideal pressure is usually between 12 and 15 psi. You can find the pressure gauge on your boiler. It's usually a small dial with a needle. If the pressure is too low, you can top it up using the filling loop on your boiler. This might sound intimidating, but it's actually quite simple. Just turn the valve slowly until the pressure reaches the correct level, then close it up tight. If you're not comfortable doing this yourself, don't hesitate to call a qualified plumber. And that's it. Now your radiators should be working more efficiently, keeping your home nice and warm while saving you money on heating bills. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more home maintenance tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.